Hey guys, welcome back to another exciting episode of YOMO. This is the Year of Magical Learning podcast, and today we are concluding the second part of the book we started last week, The Nightingale, a novel by Kristin Hannah. So this is part two.
Yep, excited about it. An emotional one. So the book's an emotional book, to be honest with you. I mean, it's a really. I know you're not a big fiction reader, I don't think, right?
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I know I talk. You know that I'm not a big fiction reader, but this is one of them that I would recommend. Did you see that?
The commercial? No.
Yeah, there's a movie coming out called The Boys in the Boat, based on the book that we talked about a couple weeks ago. I just saw it as I was scrolling through, getting to this reflection for the day, and I was like, oh, yeah, hey, it's a movie now. I can't wait to watch it. The Nightingale is just one of those books that's just like an emotional tearjerker, and I really enjoyed it. So, I mean, it's something I would recommend to other people if they wanted to check it out. Without trying to give away the ending of this book, I don't know if that's like the showstopper of the book overall, but I'm going to try to give a little bit of context here without giving away the ending of the book in case anybody wants to actually read this. Okay, so the events in the Nightingale take place in two unique timelines. One is in World War II Nazi-occupied France, and the other timeline is 50 years later, where the World War II Nazi-occupied France is about the two sisters, Vian and Isabel. And then the second timeline is 50 years later, where we jump into the future, and there's this elderly woman that's rapidly declining. She's moving into a nursing home. She's dying of terminal cancer, and she's telling the story of these two women back in France, Nazi-occupied France 50 years prior. The woman is the same in both timelines. I'm not going to tell you who the woman is. She is recapping her family story and their war within the war that came to define their entire life, right? The elderly woman's son was born a year after the further timeline, 50 years later. The dialogue is between her and her son for the majority of the book. We come to find out he was born a year after the war ended, and they make it seem like he has zero idea about anything that's going on in her life or what came before his birth. They moved to America, and he's only ever known his mom as like somebody that he needs to take care of and look after, and somebody that was kind of helpless, really. And as the story unfolds, he realizes the revelation that his mom and his broader family have all the things they've endured, overcome, and the war that they fought before his life was even born, everything that shaped, who she is today. He never knew, right? He had no idea. And now his mom's on her deathbed, basically, and he's now just seeing her complete paradigm shift from this weak, elderly person that he's always tried to look after his entire life and thought she was pretty helpless, now like this incredibly courageous, strong survivor, really, of an incredible story, right? So this is the backdrop of this reflection, right? It's called A Survivor's Duty. For me, the son living his entire life not knowing the truth about his mom, his aunt, his father, his sister, all the other people that were in this war that the story was about, the Nightingale was about, is really the true travesty. I mean, in my opinion, like it makes me think of like wars suck, right? We all know that war sucks, but I'm not just meaning the literal sense of a war. I'm talking about any war, any struggle that you go through in your life. No one asked for it to show up, and the main characters of the story were no different. They didn't ask for this stuff to go on, but when it came to their door, they fought and they endured and they figured out a way to survive, right? Well, not all of them survived. Can't control that, right? When sometimes one person survives, another person doesn't, or other people in your family survive when you're all going through a war together, like you can't control it, right? I don't know why that happens, but it's neither here nor there. I mean, we're not here to figure that out. That's God's problem, in my opinion. But if you do survive that war, here's what I think is imperative for that person that does survive with other people that don't survive. I don't know if you want to call it survivor's guilt or survivor's curse, but I like to think of it as a survivor's duty. If you survive a war, you have a duty to share other people's stories, in my opinion. This mother did not share her story. She didn't share her sister's story, her family's story, her husband's story, her grandparents' story. She didn't share anything. She pretended her life didn't exist, buried it deep down, and there were people that went around her entire life having no idea, the amazing people that she's been around and the incredible stuff that she's endured in her own life. And that's travesty, in my opinion. Like, that's an absolute travesty. All the lessons that could have been learned from her, all the knowledge that could have been gained by other people, given what she endured and what she learned through that process and what she learned from other people enduring through that process. If you don't share that, that is a absolute travesty, in my opinion. I know it's hard. It's not fun. It's not easy. It hurts. It hurts a lot sometimes to share about things that you've survived that other people didn't survive. But that's why I call it the survivor's duty, because it reminds me of Amelia, right? I think about Amelia and everything that she went through and everything that my family went through with her. Luca, her little brother, was born 11 months later, and he'll never know Amelia, right? He'll never know all the things that she fought for, all the things that she endured. He'll never know what his mom went through to bring him into this world, what we both went through when Amelia was born. He'll never know what it was like for his dad to be there, for his mom to hold his sister for the last time. He'll never know everything that we learned from that unless I share, unless my wife shares, unless other people share with Luca. I don't want him to grow up his entire life not understanding who Amelia was. I don't want him. It's unfair for him to pretend like he lives in a different existence. It doesn't. This shit happened. It is what we've endured as a family, and it is my duty, and honestly, it's my honor to tell Amelia's story to other people, because like she taught me more than anything that anybody has ever taught me in this world, and it's my duty and honor to share with other people what I learned from her, and that's what I like to think of as it's a survivor's duty. I'm blessed to be able to tell her story, as this woman in this book should have been blessed her entire life and proud to tell the story of people that she witnessed and survived the war with, or didn't survive the war. So anyway, that's my thoughts about survivor's duty. Love to hear your thoughts.
Well, for me, I don't necessarily think it's a survivor's duty. I mean, a survivor can do whatever they want, but for me, it's like anything that is an impact on your life, I think it's worth sharing. And I agree with the word you use. It's an honor to share. It's not a duty. People don't do it, but when you have something that is good, you want to share, because that's, for one, is you pay respect to the people that give you that chance, right? And second is, this is how you remember them. Right. To me, that's an honor, right? Yeah. And you look at on the flip side, you can be witnessing something. You can be living with somebody, or you can be like close to somebody, maybe somebody down the street, your politicians or whatever. They can do many things in front of you, but you don't remember that because it's not something you want to pass on. It's not something we feel proud. If you feel proud of the things that you see, then in my opinion, as a human person, you would naturally want to tell that story, because that is like passing on the good news, the emotions, the good feelings of, hey, whatever this woman is. Like I said, you don't want to give away the story, but I'm assuming that she's been, influenced or being saved by the sisters who put in the effort to make her a better than she would have, and a life better than she would have had, right? And if you don't tell the story, that means you did not even feel grateful, because when you owe somebody something, you want to pay it back in whatever way possible, because if you don't, then what kind of person are you?
A horrible person.
To me, I pray to God that I get an opportunity to pay him back. You think about it, that's the human person with the character of a good person. A person's compelled to tell that story because they are proud of it. They are say, hey, I am so grateful of this person, and this person have made me this newer change for the better person that I would have been if I hadn't met that person. Because of that, you are an exemplify, you glorify that particular, you honor that particular act. You think about it. So that means, to me, I really agree with the honor. Like, let's say you survive something, but it wasn't something you want. Then how will you could be compelled to want to share a survivor's duty isn't to do that. I mean, I think you have to let your natural being be who it needs to be, which is, as a person, you are compelled to want to share ideas that are good, that are worth passing on, that are beneficial to other people. And I think that is just a natural way that we are, through evolution, have been accustomed to.
So I think it's harder to share your own traumas with everyone. You don't want people to think of you as a victim, right?
But I think that's what I'm saying is I do think it's hard, but when you have a reason to, then I always that, whatever, I guess, circumstances that you feel not up to it.
I guess I wasn't totally finished that thought. If something happens to you personally and you survive it, I don't know that you have a duty to share that to other people if you don't want to, or even whatever you want to call it, right? You should.
Right. It's not a duty, but the thing is, as a person, you are going to want to repay the deed that somebody give you.
Right. That's what I was. So this is the second part of that would be is if you go through a shared traumatic event where both we're not all parties are there anymore, right? Like let's say you're at war and you're in a platoon with other people or something like that, right? Like you should share their story. Let's say that your wife goes through, knock on wood, like dies of cancer or something like that, or terminal cancer or whatever, and you're there to watch her life, and her fight. And you, even though you're not personally affected by that, you survived, you're still in the fight, if you will, after that person passes on. I think it's still your duty to share. That's when I think of the survivor's duty. If it's your story, I don't think you have to tell it. I think you should tell it, but I don't think you have to. If it's somebody else's story that you witnessed, I think you have to tell it. Like, I think that you should have. I don't think you have to tell it. Like, you know what I mean? Because it's not you. It's what you saw. It's what you were around. It's like Jesus, right? It's not like Jesus doesn't have to share Jesus's story. It's everybody else saw what Jesus made them feel, what Jesus did.
Right. You pass on the story of Jesus because of what he did for you.
Right.
It's not about it's not about, hey, you survived something. Like, hey, you and I were, hey, let's say you and I were affected by COVID, right? Either you or me died of COVID and I survived. And I'm sorry with it. I mean, I don't feel anything. I don't feel a need to share. Hey, I know Chris and he just died of COVID. Okay. Right. So in that scenario, I mean, there has to be some kind of a trigger. There is a trigger because if Jesus comes down, and I understand that he teaches us how to live, right? And I'm affected by it, by what he did, or the devil is trying to take our lives away, and he provides a solution for us. And that is passing on the good news. When Amelia show you how to live your life, there's an impact that it make you a new person, a better person. Then that is worth celebrating. It's not because you survived something. I mean, it's a technicality, but you're survivor of, let's say, the war. Hey, we win a war with Iraq.
Right.
Right. And well, we win a war. Did I even go?
Well, I mean, you have to be a part of the war. I mean, you can't share a story with not being a part of the war.
Even if you're part of the war, right? But it's not the war itself. It's like, hey, maybe there's a person that I feel like, hey, this guy to me is by my side, right? And we went to war, and we SEAL Team 6 or whatever. You go to war, and you were on the mission with your platoon, and you got attacked, you got ambushed, and then somebody died. More people, more than only one or two survived, right? What do you tell?
You remember the story of Marcus Luttrell? You ever see the movie Lone Survivor? It was about a Navy SEAL. This covert mission goes bad, and this is a true story, and they all got killed except for him. He survived, and this is him sharing the story. Mark Wahlberg did the movie, and they're in Afghanistan. Marcus Luttrell, the guy that survived, wrote a book about all of his other people. I don't think Marcus Luttrell wanted to write a story about his survival. I don't think he gave a shit. He was here. He's doing his own suffering. He survived, though, right? Like, but the thing is I'm sure what he witnessed from his brothers in that scenario is something that he has to share that story.
What triggers you to have to share it? There got to be something.
It's what you witnessed.
The question is why? Why do you want to tell a story? This is, and I'm not saying there isn't.
I don't know.
I want to clarify. There's a why. There's a reason why you want to do it.
Yeah,
Because
I hope to.
it affected you
Yeah,
emotionally,
right.
physically, and spiritually. It has affected you, and it made you a different person. This is why you are compelled to share it. This is why you call out survivor's duty of a certain event,
Right. Yeah.
right?
Of a shared traumatic experience.
So I want to clarify that it has to be a trigger. There is a
Right.
reason why we do things. It's
Yeah.
not because we are in, let's say we're in bunk together in some kind of a crack house, and then certainly we get raided by the police, and we got shot, for example. I mean, is that worth sharing?
No, that is not.
I survived. I didn't get killed, but is that worth sharing? It's not worth sharing. I don't care. You've survived.
Well, I don't know. I don't actually know that that's not. Now that you say that, I don't. I'm going to retract my statement. And you should share it because there's a lot of nitty gritty bad experiences out there that people need to understand and know about. It's what you learned from people. I'm not saying that they were heroic. You still need to share, right? Other people need you learn. Marcus Luttrell probably learned more about humanity and with what he witnessed from his fellow brothers and what they
Right,
fought
and
for.
that's exactly what I was saying is he have a positive impact by that event. And therefore, he wants to tell, he is compelled to tell. There is a reason why he is compelled to tell, because he have gained something from that experience that is worth sharing. That's what I'm saying is something worth sharing. If it's not worth sharing, then there is not really, no one's going to share anything, because what is it that you are supposed to get out of it? There's something you learn from it. You can't just say, hey, hey, Chris, go and climb Mount Everest. If you survive, come down and tell me about it.
Yeah, I know.
You go free solo on some
Right.
kind of cliff. If you survive and tell me about it, I don't fucking care. I don't
care.
I don't need you to. This
David Goggins. I'm the Can't Hurt Me book. I'm reading it right now. All the crap that this guy's done, surviving 4,700 pull-ups, to set the record for most pull-ups in history, Guinness Book of World Record, whatever it was, and all the crap that he endured. I don't care. Good for you, man. Like, you chose to torture yourself. Oh, hey, you ran through Navy SEAL training with duct tape strapped to your shins so you could run because you had two broken shins and you still survived. I don't care. Like, I really don't care. Nobody told you to do that. Like, that is not impressive to me at all. Like it's the events that come to your
right,
shore.
because the thing is, you don't benefit from that particular surviving story.
No, no. I mean, you can. I don't care. If anything, I don't want you to share your self-imposed traumas to me and say, hey, this is what I learned from my own self-imposed trauma, right? Like, I don't care. Like, I mean, that's stupid to me. This is like what we talked about of like climbing Mount Everest before in the past with Into the Wild with John Krakauer, right? I have never been more disgusted in my life than reading that book. And not because I'm like, don't get me wrong, the book was incredible. Just from a sheer suspense and drama, it was very, very, very intense. If you're into that, great. It's a great story. Sure, David Goggins is a great story, but like self-imposing torture on yourself, and then, in a weird way, John Krakauer was doing his survivor's duty because he survived. But I think the message that he brought back was why? Why did this happen? Why did we have to have that happen for no fucking reason at all? And that's what I'm thinking too. Is like, why did that? If David Goggins were to die, I'd be going on one of his insane runs or whatever that he's killing himself for. What his first ever 24-hour run that he ever did. He was totally unprepared, untrained, had no idea what he was doing, and he started peeing blood. Like he was in renal failure. Like if he would have died from that, like I would have been like, I don't care. Like, I mean, in all seriousness, I'd be like, what an idiot. Why'd you do that? That's not somebody I'm going to go tell that story.
The thing is, that's what I'm saying is when you tell a story of something bad, right? All you're doing is making people want to copycat you, make society worse. So to me, this is what I'm saying. It is. I'm reading your word here. It is my duty and honor to share my daughter's war with the world. So to me, it's my duty. It's like I have to. It's an honor. I get to. So for me, I'd rather say I get to, because I am so proud of what I have seen, what I have witnessed. It is something positive. It is I get to share. It's not I have to share.
I'm proud or scared. I think it's the either end of the extreme, because I could be really scared. You said proud. I'm proud of my daughter. I'm more proud of her than any
exactly. And I think
person
that's
I've ever
both
met.
sharing. And that's why I'm saying I want to
But
make.
it could be the other end of the extreme. I can
Meaning,
share that too. Meaning, if like whatever the opposite of proud is, of not proud. Like if I saw something that was not proud of, like if I
well,
if
I
I was a
think
film
to
guy,
me, I think if people are sharing the bad things, right? They are just there, just sharing a story for story's sake to get some kind of recognitions or money, whatever. But
I mean, it could just be to share learnings. I mean, look, I witnessed.
I'm just
David,
saying, look, I figured out how to murder somebody and get away with it. I should share it, right?
Well, wait, no, that's you. I'm talking. This is a survivor.
I'm a survivor. If somebody murder somebody and I was one of the survivor, and this is how he did it, I can see everything. Should I share it?
Well, actually, John, that's a great example.
But the
serial
reason I'm saying
killer.
is
Should you share the story of a serial killer?
you're going to get people who are delusional and psychotic to copy the what you share. That is not good for society.
Potentially. I mean, I don't know. It could also help people to look out for stuff in the future, right? Like John Krakauer is a great example of this. Like he shared what he was not proud of this completely superfluous trip to Summit Mount Everest where 6 people lost their life.
You can share about letting people go surfing. Yeah, it's like I only punch you half to death. I didn't punch you until you completely dead. This is a story I'm gonna tell. Right? I only destroy half the world. I only destroy half the time. I didn't destroy everything.
True. That's what's his name? Twinard was sharing his own story. Like this is what I'm trying to say. It's like there's a difference between sharing your own story and sharing somebody else's story.
Well, right? I think that's a 2 different thread. The first thread is, sharing a story that is good or bad, whether you're proud or not proud, and sharing a story that is either your story or somebody else's story that you witnessed, that you survived an event from. So that's 2 different threads. And there's a matrix to that two thread. And it doesn't have to be exclusive of one or of the other.
Like if Amelia were here today, and when she gets to be, let's say she's 15 years old now, and like this is her story, everything that she endured and she overcame, and let's say she was still here. I don't have the right to tell her story, right? At that point in time, I would not tell her story. It's her story to tell. If she wants to tell it, then she can tell it. If she doesn't, then I'm going to support her, whatever she wants to do, right? That's what I'm trying to say is like, that's her story. But if she's not here, it is my duty to tell it.
It's an honor to share. It's not your duty to share. It's
your
honor.
It's an honor.
You want to share, right?
Right.
You don't have to share.
Right.
Yes, if she's here,
I think I have to share.
You don't have to do the honor because it wasn't given to you.
Right, that's true. I do think I have to share. I think I have to share. I don't know why. I can't put any words behind that, but I do think I have to share her story. I think I have to.
I don't disagree with that. I think you have to share her story because her story, it is very, very inspiring to both to you and to people who listens to them. So to you, there is a major positive impact on your life, Chris, and also my life, and also the people who read it. So that's the reason why you have to share it. Yeah. Not because you survived something. I just want to make that clear.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, yes.
You share because
you can survive
not because it is because you survived something.
Yeah, I mean, you could survive something you don't learn anything from.
Exactly. If you don't learn anything, then no one wants to listen because how is it going to benefit me?
Well, I'm in a fraternity or something like that, and a kid.
You survived some hazing, okay?
So well, not me survive. Like my whole pledge class is getting hazed. Somebody gets overhazed and ends up in the hospital and dies. Do I share that story? I still think I do. I think I have to share that.
Maybe for you, but I don't think everybody is gonna feel it.
No, I mean, I think we owe it to that person's life to share their story, to be like, look, who they are, who they really were.
But why you? Are you the only person there?
I don't know why me. I think we all should share, to be fair. But like, I mean,
but
I guess
who will give you the right to share?
No, I don't know the answer to that.
Can I go and share Amelia's story?
If you were there.
But I read the book.
Well, I mean, yes, I've given you permission through reading the book to share Amelia's story.
Exactly.
Yes, right.
That's what I'm saying is there has to be given permission. If the thing is, let's say the people that get hazed and 1 or 2 persons pass away by the hazing, and the immediate family who has the right to them doesn't want it to be out. So you don't have the right to share it. Right?
But they weren't there.
It doesn't matter. You don't have that right. So your daughter, because you are her father, when she passes, you inherit that right.
Interesting. So if I was in the military and I got killed in action in Marcus Luttrell's group, does Marcus Luttrell have the ability to tell that story of his other platoon mates that didn't survive?
He has to ask permission from the family. That's what I'm saying. It's an honor to share somebody. And with an honor, you request permissions to share it.
Yeah, I'm
because that means you are compelled to do it. By logic, you are compelled to share regardless if somebody give you a gag order and say, hey, you don't do not share it because I don't want this or that out.
What happens if you do share it and they don't want you to share it?
Then you have dishonored that person's name, family, spiritual, whatever. You have.
If Mary Magdalene said, or Mary, Mother of Jesus, was like, hey, don't share my story of Jesus.
But the thing is, if Jesus wants, if he expressed his wants for you to share it, then that right was not given to the mother.
Okay, so what if Marcus Luttrell's dying platoon mates said, Marcus, I want you to share my story?
Then that's his duty because he has accepted that request.
Okay.
If I have a last request, I ask you, Chris, can you do this for me? If you don't do that, you have dishonored me. Basically, you lied to me at my last moment. That is horrendous.
Yeah, I fucked up.
You are a hypocrite if you do that.
Yeah.
If I were to give you and you have taken your word, that is a bond. That one, I don't think anyone among all the humans, even if you are a fucking thief, you will honor that. Because the thing is, if you don't want to, then you say no. But you don't say, yeah, I'll do it, because no one does that. You don't even do that to your enemy. So that means that if that person asks you specifically and you giving your word, that means he is specifically passing on that right to you specifically. So if Jesus Christ said, hey, my disciple, I want you to go and spread the good news. I want you to go spread my teachings. Then that means he have expressly given his rights of the story to his disciples. It doesn't go back to the default to Mary.
No, that was a turn I didn't think this conversation was going to take. That's interesting. Philosophical debates of survivors' duties, because, I mean, who knows what's right and what's wrong? I mean, I like.
But that's what I'm saying. Is we have to be clear what a duty means, right? If you have taken up the responsibility, you have accepted a request and ask, then it is your duty to do that.
Yeah.
Because the person who have request that asks onto you, they can no longer make that change.
Yeah. Interesting.
Who does the right belong to? So if you were to give in the stories, right, and everybody tell the story, but everybody tell from different perspectives, well, this person's name is going to be in ruin just because, and you don't want to do that. Especially if you respect that person enough not to stain his name in his legacy.
What's the lady's name? Meep? Where is it? This Anne Frank movie came out recently. It was about Meep, the lady that brought stuff, the caretaker that brought stuff every single day to the Franks when they were in the Frank house, when they were in the annex in the Netherlands. They made this book, or they made this show about that lady. It was a fictional drama based off of the book and what they kind of think. It was like from her perspective, right? We don't know this lady. Like, we don't know anything about her. This is the stuff that drives me insane. They made it into a drama. They turned it into something with nobody's story. Nobody gave them permission. None of these people are still around to give them permission for this story. None of their families are probably even around still. They just heard a good story and they were like, hey, I'm going to put this out and turn this into a fictionalized story to get viewers. I don't know. Profiting off somebody else's wars is horrible. It's horrendous. Like, telling just pure stories, right? And then, but you could actually start to argue though, like, when does that stop? Like, when is it okay when should we not share Jesus' story? Otto Frank is a great example of survivor's duty, right? Anne wrote this diary and he survived, right? He was the only one that survived. So he shared his daughter's story. And now, we all get to know Anne through her writing. But like, if somebody today were just to find Anne Frank's book and just randomly walking down the street at the library or whatever, and they saw this old journal from 1942 or whatever it was when she was writing it, is that okay to share that and turn that into a movie and fictionalize it? They don't really know what happened.
I'm not saying the world is going to be perfect, because people do things that is against human nature and against morality. But in general, as a person of the right, the right compass is not yours unless you have permission to do so. You say, hey, I want to, but who has the right? Because let's say I go and I tell your daughter, but I don't know all the details, and I say, I make it incorrect, right? Would you be pissed at me?
Fuck you. Yeah, I'd probably fucking punch you in the face.
Because I have already soiled somebody's name, right? Yeah. And maybe horrendous. I say, hey, this person isn't that or this and that, right? Regardless of whether or not you are able to get me to stop, even if it's within the legal right for me to do it, I have still made you angry as a human person. Yeah, as a human person, I'm a human, horrible person. In a human right. That is not kosher. That means that you have to give me the right, and I have to be respectful of that particular story. I can't just change whatever I want. I can just say, I remember this way. So you think about it, just like if I were to die and I asked you for something, you don't fucking toy around with that. Yeah. Because I'm dead. There's no way for me to go back and hold you to it, right? But even then, no one fucks with that concept. No one. The same concept applies in the world. If the story belongs to somebody, especially because Amelia is your daughter, it's not my daughter, right? That means when she passes on, by default, you are the next inheritance of that right. Well, I cannot get it from you, because if I were to do that, then you're going to be so angry, but you're going to hate me so much. And that hatred alone justify the fact that I'm not the righteous person. I'm not a person, right? Somebody cannot force me to stop doing it. That is just gross.
It's gross. It's very gross. You ever watch The Crown on Netflix? It's about the British monarchy. It's called The Crown. You ever
I don't watch a lot of movies.
it's like the best show on TV.
Like the Titanic.
No, but this is like multiple seasons. It's a Netflix show. It's not just a movie. It's like multiple seasons. Series, right? It's a series, yeah. And it's a dramatization of the British monarchy, and it started with Elizabeth's dad back in like the just early before World War II, up to her coronation, and then it goes all the way through to right now we're at Diana's death, right? And it's like been multiple seasons of, they'll take like one chunk of history with the British monarchy and they'll dramatize what they the events that happened. I love the show, it's great, but they've never really touched on any actual tragedies other than, I guess, there was one guy that died either here nor there. Princess Diana, do you remember how she died?
Car crash.
Yeah, the car crash in Paris. Nobody really knows what happened. Nobody has any understanding. It's all speculative. Like, there's a whole lot of people that were hurt. I've read Harry's.
I don't follow those, because to me it doesn't feel right for me to even go through the motion of, hey, this is interesting, blah blah blah. I'm gonna pass it. I'm gonna go gossip to the people at the water cooler at the office. Right? To me, I don't even watch it because you're speculating.
It's gross.
What happened? You saw somebody's name for what? For your own particular gains?
I was disgusted by this. So I love watching The Crown. And then they get to this, the whole first half of the last season of this show, is dedicated to Diana and her relationship with Dodi Al-Fayed, the guy that she was with when he passed away. Nobody knows anything about it. This is pure gossip shit that they're building up to this. They're even incorporating William and Harry and interactions they had and speculating where she was and what they were talking about in the last few hours. They were dramatizing all this stuff, right? For a Netflix series. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, like, what the fuck do these people think they have the right to do this? Like, if I'm Harry or William or anybody that loved Diana, like her family, her brothers, whatever, and I'd be like, you guys have zero idea what went on. Like, nobody really knows because everybody died that was in that crash. Like, it's 100% speculative. Like, talk about like, the anti-survivor's duty. Like, this is shit that is disgusting when you steal other people's stories.
You imagine from Harry's and William's perspective, from their family, they're gonna hate whoever created a story. But I say, it's not like they can do anything about it because it's in America, right?
But they're dramatizing their pain and their suffering. Like, that's fucked up.
But that's the thing. They could not force these people to stop. But at the same time, it's still wrong. It's still wrong.
It's wrong.
As a human person, because I guarantee you, from their family perspective, that's more disgusting. Even for you and me, imagine putting ourselves in their shoe. We feel disgusted, and they would be 100 times more disgusted than we are.
I mean, I can't imagine what they must have.
How would I tell it? I wouldn't tell it to the point where, okay, how do I make it act? Why did it inspire me? Versus, hey, this happened, and pride.
And then dramatized it. Like, they literally made up.
Like I say, you tell a story for your own personal gain. This is for money. This is why
it's pure and simple. I said, for money.
It is for money. So hey, let's say I want to tell the story of the soldier that you talk about. Maybe he wanted for the money. If we were asked to share the story, and that's his duty. But if he had to share it because it's his duty, but he make it so that he can get gains out of it, then you have dishonor that right. You have dishonor that person.
I agree.
In Asian country, honor, it is something that is most sacred. Just as if somebody is dying and their last request is given to you. They say, hey, I'm asking you to do this for me, right? Please do this for me. And you say yes, right? If you say yes, then it is your honor because he is giving you that right. That right he would have given to you. So when you honor somebody, it's on a positive note. It's not never on a negative note. Like the word quit and the word endure. The word endure is same as quit, but it's only one sign. It's endure for something worthwhile. I mean, for the worth going through the obstacle. It's worth it. It's worth more than the thing that you go through. That's why the endurance has a positive meaning versus the word quit. Never quit. It has a different.
The only reason why we have the Diary of Anne Frank?
Because her dad wrote it. Or she wrote it.
Well, her dad found it, read it, edited it, compiled it, and turned it into a book.
But she wrote it, and then the inheritance.
Nobody would have ever have seen Anne Frank's diary.
If somebody found the diary, the kind of story they tell, it wasn't necessarily to honor her.
Right. Yeah.
Because her dad, what kind of dad would actually take her dead daughter's writing and go and make drama out of it? You think about it. Right, no one would, right? Insane. Because in that connotation,
it's so gross.
There is an honor. When you honor something, you want the nicest positive thing to become out of it. Not just because you're going to tell some kind of facts, right? You do tell facts, but there is a certain perspective that you will give. And you're not going to go and I'm going to tell whatever. You say, I need to find out what does it mean by this. You want to know as much as possible so that you can honor that person. So that what honor is, it means so much.
It does.
So much.
I mean, I agree.
It's not something you take lightly.
I 100% agree. So anyway, all right. I think I'm out of words in this one, and I'm also out of energy for the flu that Luca has given me. So a question I think that I wanted to leave with everybody would be, Are you running away from the stories that shaped your life, or are you ready to share them with the world?
Yeah.
Do you have the honors?
The honor. I mean,
Right.
if it wasn't given to you,
All right, good point.
right?
Agreed. Well, thank you for a great conversation, and we will see you all tomorrow night for
New book.
number 341. Thanks for joining. We'll see you soon.
Good night.